There's something almost magical, and honestly a little strange, that happens when you finally stop caring so much. I don't mean the reckless kind of not caring, where you throw everything out the window and stop trying altogether. No, it's a different kind of not caring. It's like stepping back and loosening the invisible chains that have been tugging on you at every moment. Chains made from stress, pressure, and all the little worries that pile up every day. These chains are often invisible to us, but they weigh heavily on our minds and hearts, holding us back, making us tense, anxious, or exhausted. The wild truth you might not have realized yet is this: most of the stress and chaos you feel in life doesn't actually come from the situations themselves. It's not the job interview, the text message, the argument, or the deadline that's crushing you. It's how much you care about them. It's your attachment to these things, the way you hold on to them tightly, as if your whole happiness depends on how they turn out. This kind of caring can feel like a heavy backpack you carry everywhere, stuffed with fears, expectations, and the need to control every little detail. When you finally decide to put that backpack down, even if just for a moment, something shifts inside you. You breathe easier, you feel lighter. It's as if the invisible chains suddenly loosen, and you're no longer fighting against the tide of life. This is the start of freedom, and it's surprising how life begins to look different when you stop gripping so hard. You might still care, but you care with space and calm, instead of panic and desperation. This space changes everything, because it changes how you show up in the world. When you stop being a prisoner to your own overthinking, when you stop being controlled by your worries about what could go wrong, or what others might think, you unlock a new way of existing. It's peaceful, and it's powerful. It's like walking into a room, and no longer feeling the pressure to be perfect, or to impress everyone around you. Suddenly you are just yourself, and that alone makes you magnetic. People notice the calm in you. They feel drawn to your ease because you're not pushing or forcing anything. You're just there, relaxed, confident, and open. That energy attracts connection, opportunity, and good things, almost like magic. But it's not magic. It's psychology. It's science. It's the way human beings respond to energy and attitude. When you care too much, when you cling too tightly, people and situations tend to push back. Desperation repels, but ease attracts. When you stop caring just enough to let go of the pressure, life starts to work for you, not against you. And this is why letting go of excessive caring is so important. It's not about giving up. It's about opening your hands, loosening your grip, and allowing life to flow through you, instead of trying to control every single drop. Imagine you're holding a handful of sand. If you clench your fist tightly, the sand slips through your fingers faster and faster, until there's nothing left. But if you open your hand just a little, the sand stays put, resting gently, steady and calm. Life works the same way. When you stop gripping so tightly, when you stop stressing about every outcome, or trying to micromanage everything, things start to stay with you, to settle in your life naturally. This doesn't mean you stop caring completely, or stop putting in effort. It means you care smartly and wisely, without letting your emotions take over and run the show. It's about finding balance between caring and detachment, between action and acceptance. This balance gives you freedom. Freedom from anxiety, freedom from burnout, freedom from the exhausting race to control everything. And when you live from this place of balanced caring, something beautiful happens. You start to experience life as it's meant to be lived, with flow, with ease and with joy. You stop fighting against yourself and the world. Instead, you become part of the rhythm of life. And that rhythm is surprisingly kind, even when things aren't perfect. So before we go deeper, think about this. How often do you find yourself caught in the trap of caring too much? How often do you lose sleep over things you can't change? How often do you feel like you're dragging a heavy load of worries behind you? And how different would your life feel if you could loosen that grip, even just a little? This paragraph is just the beginning of understanding that shift. The journey of learning to care less, but care better, is one of the most powerful steps you can take toward peace and success. Because when you finally stop being a slave to your over-caring mind, you unlock a world where life feels lighter, brighter, and more full of possibility. Imagine walking into a room filled with people. Maybe it's a party, or a networking event, or even just a busy coffee shop. At first, your mind starts spinning, catching itself in a whirlwind of thoughts. Everyone is looking at you, judging you, analyzing every little thing you do. You worry about how you look, how you sound, if you're making the right impression, if your outfit is okay, or if your smile is too forced. Your thoughts multiply and amplify the pressure. You feel the weight of invisible eyes on your every move, making you stiffen, making you second-guess yourself. Your body tenses, your words stumble, and inside you're frantically hoping no one notices your nerves. It's exhausting. But here's the twist. The moment you stop caring about how others see you, everything changes. Not because you stop caring about people or life itself, but because you stop letting fear and judgment control your energy. Suddenly, you breathe easier. The room isn't a stage for a performance anymore. You don't have to prove anything or earn approval. You're just there, simply existing. The tension inside melts away, and conversations become natural and fluid. People start approaching you without effort because you're radiating ease and confidence. This isn't just some fantasy. It's a real psychological shift that happens when you release the chains of over-attachment to outcomes and others' opinions. You see, caring is a double-edged sword. On one side, caring fuels motivation, empathy, and connection. It's what makes you want to do your best, build meaningful relationships, and pursue goals with passion. But on the other side, caring too much, especially about things beyond your control, creates pressure, anxiety, and self-doubt. It's like trying to hold water in your hands. The tighter you grip, the more it slips through your fingers. When you care so deeply about how things must go, or how others perceive you, you're clutching your energy in a way that suffocates your natural flow. The energy you radiate in those moments is not inviting or magnetic. It's tense, defensive, and even desperate. And here's the ironic part. The more desperate you seem, the less people want to be around you. Desperation repels, ease attracts. It's a fundamental law of human connection, and even life itself. Let me tell you, this isn't just about social anxiety or feeling self-conscious. It's about a profound principle that applies across the board to work, love, creativity, and personal growth. When you stop caring so fiercely about controlling every outcome, you free up mental space and emotional energy. You stop micromanaging how things should go, and instead you open yourself to what is actually happening. This openness invites possibilities you might never have seen before. Think about those times when you were relaxed, maybe on a vacation or during a quiet moment, and suddenly a brilliant idea came to you. Or when you weren't trying to impress someone, but your genuine self attracted their interest effortlessly. That's the power of not caring too much in the right way. It's about trust. Trust in yourself, trust in the process, and trust that life isn't a battle to win, but a dance to be enjoyed. When you move from a place of trust rather than fear, your energy changes. You become magnetic, approachable, and authentic, which draws the right people and opportunities into your life. Now you might wonder, doesn't caring mean working hard and being committed? Absolutely. Caring about your goals and values is essential. But there's a difference between caring with healthy engagement and caring with suffocating attachment. Healthy caring means you put in effort, show up consistently, and do your best without obsessing over every tiny detail. It means being flexible and patient when things don't go as planned. On the other hand, unhealthy attachment looks like stress, overthinking, fear of failure, and constant comparison. It's exhausting and often counterproductive. When you let go of unhealthy attachment, you create space for flow and creativity to emerge. You stop forcing things and start allowing life to unfold naturally. This shift from forcing to allowing is where real growth and success happen. Think about the way athletes describe being in the zone. It's not about forcing every move or worrying about the scoreboard. It's about being fully present, relaxed, and trusting their body and training. Writers talk about moments when words come effortlessly, not because they pushed themselves but because they stopped trying too hard. Artists create their best pieces when they let go of judgment and just express. This state of flow is the sweet spot where your mind and body align, and magic happens. But here's the catch. You can't force flow. You can't get there by over-caring or controlling. You get there by letting go enough to trust yourself and the process. That's the paradox of caring less but achieving more. In real life, this means letting go of the need to control every outcome, to predict every reaction, or to manage every impression. It means allowing yourself to be imperfect, to make mistakes and to show up as you are. This kind of freedom is powerful. It's not about being careless or indifferent. It's about being wise with your energy. You stop wasting time and emotional fuel on things that don't serve you and focus on what truly matters. You become more adaptable, more resilient, and more aligned with your true self. So next time you feel overwhelmed by caring too much, remind yourself it's okay to care, but it's also okay to release control. The world won't fall apart if you don't obsess over every detail. People won't stop liking you if you're not perfect. Opportunities will come not just because you chase them, but because you create space for them. You are not your fears or your need for approval. You are a dynamic being capable of flow, creativity, and connection when you stop gripping so tightly and just let life move through you. This shift doesn't happen overnight. It takes practice and patience, but every small moment of letting go brings you closer to that place of peace and ease. Start with small things, maybe a minor worry, a social interaction, or a goal you're stressing about. Notice how your body feels when you tighten up versus when you relax. Notice the difference in your energy and how people respond to you. Over time, you'll find that caring without clenching is not only possible but transformative. You'll gain clarity, confidence, and a magnetic presence that draws people and opportunities naturally. So step into this new way of being, where caring meets calm, and watch how life starts to flow with grace and ease. Now let's dive deeper into what actually happens inside you when you care too much, and how it affects your energy, your relationships, and your overall well-being. Caring intensely, especially about things that are uncertain or outside your control, activates your stress response. Your mind starts spinning, your heart races, and your body tightens like a coiled spring ready to snap. This is your fight or flight mechanism kicking in, a survival instinct meant to protect you from danger. But in modern life, this system often fires off for emotional or social threats rather than physical ones. When you're caught in this cycle, your nervous system is on high alert, flooding your body with stress hormones like cortisol and adrenaline. This keeps you stuck in a state of tension and hypervigilance, which drains your energy and clouds your judgment. Over time, this chronic stress not only wears you down emotionally, but also harms your health physically. You might feel anxious, exhausted, or even depressed without fully understanding why. On the other hand, when you learn to care without clenching, you activate a very different state, your parasympathetic nervous system, the rest and digest mode. This state allows your body and mind to relax, recover, and replenish. Your breathing slows, your muscles loosen, and your heart rate stabilizes. Mentally, you become more clear-headed, creative, and resilient. This state is not about ignoring reality or avoiding responsibility. It's about approaching life with calm and presence instead of panic and fear. When you master this balance, you can care deeply and act effectively without being overwhelmed. Your decisions become wiser, your actions more deliberate, and your relationships healthier. People sense this calm energy and naturally gravitate toward you because it feels safe and refreshing. But how do you shift from the fight or flight mode to this relaxed, centered place? It starts with awareness. The moment you notice your body tightening or your mind racing, pause and take a breath. Simple, intentional breathing is one of the fastest ways to calm your nervous system. Even a few slow, deep breaths signal to your brain that you're safe, helping to reduce stress hormones and shift you into parasympathetic mode. Alongside breathing, mindfulness practices, like meditation, journaling, or simply paying attention to the present moment, train your mind to notice when you're over-caring or overthinking. This awareness creates distance between you and your automatic reactions, giving you the power to choose a different response. Another key step is setting boundaries, both with yourself and others. When you care too much, it's often because you've blurred the lines between what's yours and what's someone else's. You might take on other people's emotions, problems, or expectations as if they were your own. This emotional overload is exhausting and unsustainable. Boundaries are like invisible fences that protect your energy. They allow you to care without becoming entangled in drama, guilt, or pressure. Saying no, limiting exposure to toxic people or situations, and prioritizing your well-being are all acts of caring in their highest form. They help you conserve your energy, so you can show up fully for the things and people that truly matter. You also have to be gentle with yourself through this process. Society often glorifies hustle, perfectionism, and being on all the time. It tells you that caring means grinding harder, worrying more, and controlling everything tightly. But this narrative is damaging. Real caring starts with self-compassion, accepting your imperfections, honoring your limits, and forgiving your mistakes. When you treat yourself with kindness, you create an inner environment where growth and healing can thrive. Self-compassion isn't weakness, it's strength. It's the foundation for sustainable care that doesn't burn you out or lead to resentment. Relationships offer a perfect mirror for how your caring style affects your life. When you care too much, relationships can feel like heavy chains. You might find yourself constantly giving, over-apologizing, or trying to fix things that aren't your responsibility. This dynamic often leads to imbalance, frustration, and emotional fatigue. The other person may even start to take you for granted because your energy signals that you'll always be there, no matter what. But when you care with healthy detachment, meaning you love and support without losing yourself, you create space for authentic connection. You show up as your whole self, not just the version people expect or need you to be. This honesty fosters respect, trust, and deeper intimacy. It also teaches others how to treat you with kindness and boundaries. Caring without clenching also revolutionizes the way you handle failure and rejection. When your self-worth is tied up in constant caring about outcomes, every setback feels like a personal attack. You might ruminate endlessly, feel defeated, or spiral into self-doubt. But when you cultivate detachment, failure becomes feedback instead of a verdict. You learn to see setbacks as temporary and useful information, rather than proof that you're not enough. This mindset frees you from the fear of failure that often paralyzes people from trying new things or taking risks. Instead, you become courageous and open to growth, knowing that your value doesn't depend on perfection or constant success. This balance between caring and detachment is what spiritual teachers, psychologists, and philosophers have pointed to for centuries. It's a core principle in many wisdom traditions, whether it's Taoism's Wu Wei, effortless action, Buddhism's non-attachment, or modern psychology's emphasis on emotional regulation. The common thread is that life flows best when you engage fully, but don't grip too tightly. You learn to ride the waves of joy and pain, without being tossed around or sinking beneath them. You develop resilience, grace, and freedom. In practical terms, this means developing daily habits that reinforce this way of being. Start your mornings with a few moments of quiet breathing or meditation to set your tone for the day. Check in with your body regularly to notice tension or overwhelm. Practice saying no to things that drain your energy, even if they feel important. Surround yourself with people who respect your boundaries and uplift your spirit. When you catch yourself spiraling into worry or over-caring, gently bring your attention back to what you can control: your thoughts, your actions, and your energy. Let go of the rest. Over time, these habits become second nature, and your caring becomes a source of power instead of stress. Remember, this isn't about becoming cold or indifferent. It's about loving fiercely, but wisely. It's about showing up with your whole heart while protecting your peace. When you master this, you'll find that caring less in the right way actually means loving more deeply and living more fully. You create space for joy, connection, and success without the constant drain of anxiety and fear. You become a beacon of calm in a chaotic world, inspiring others to do the same. And most importantly, you reconnect with your true self, free, vibrant, and deeply at peace. When you begin to truly understand the art of caring without clenching, you unlock a profound shift in how you relate not only to others, but to yourself. So many of us grow up believing that caring means sacrificing ourselves, that to show love we must always put others first, even when it hurts us. This mistaken belief creates a loop of giving and depletion, where your energy is drained and your heart feels empty. But real care starts inside. It begins with recognizing that your own well-being is not optional, it's essential. Without nurturing yourself, your capacity to care for others weakens and eventually collapses. Think of yourself as a vessel. If it's cracked or empty, how can it hold water for others? When you fill yourself with compassion, respect, and kindness, you build an internal reservoir that can overflow generously without drying up. This internal foundation changes everything about how you handle emotional challenges. Instead of reacting from fear or desperation, you respond from strength and clarity. Imagine feeling secure enough in your own worth that you don't need constant reassurance from others. Picture the freedom of loving without fear of loss or abandonment. This freedom doesn't mean you stop caring or that you disconnect emotionally. Rather, it means you care with balance, not obsession. You learn to differentiate between love and attachment, between healthy involvement and codependency. This distinction is vital because attachment binds you to outcomes, to people's approval, and to your own fears, creating endless suffering. Love, on the other hand, is expansive and freeing. It allows both you and the other person space to grow and breathe. The process of shifting into this kind of care isn't instant. It's gradual, sometimes frustrating, and often uncomfortable, because it asks you to unlearn lifelong habits and social conditioning. You might find yourself wrestling with guilt when you set boundaries, or take time for yourself. Society, family, or even your own inner critic might tell you that caring means sacrifice and selflessness at all costs. But that narrative is outdated and harmful. It's okay, necessary, even to say no, to pause, and to protect your energy. Every time you honor this, you strengthen your emotional muscles. You become more resilient to life's ups and downs, and less vulnerable to manipulation or burnout. Another powerful aspect of caring without clenching is learning to surrender control. This is one of the hardest lessons for many, because our culture prizes control, achievement, and certainty. We want to fix problems, solve conflicts, and guarantee outcomes, especially in relationships. But the truth is, much of life is unpredictable and beyond our control. When you grip too tightly, trying to force things, people, or outcomes to conform to your will, you only create resistance, frustration, and disappointment. Surrender doesn't mean giving up or being passive. It means releasing the need to control what you cannot, and focusing your energy on what you can influence: your attitude, your reactions, and your choices. This subtle shift reduces anxiety and opens up new possibilities for connection and growth. When you practice surrender, you also cultivate trust, not blind trust, but a deep, grounded trust in yourself and life's unfolding. This trust anchors you during difficult times, reminding you that you can handle whatever comes your way. It's like having an internal compass that guides you even when the external map is unclear. Trust allows you to care without fear, because you're not dependent on specific results or guarantees. You can show up fully and authentically, knowing that you are enough regardless of what happens. This trust radiates outward and invites others to relax around you. It creates a space where true intimacy and collaboration can flourish. Importantly, caring without clenching requires you to listen deeply, to yourself and to others. Listening is a form of care that often gets overlooked. When you listen without judgment, without rushing to fix or respond, you create a sacred space for understanding and healing. This kind of listening is rooted in presence and empathy. It's about tuning into the other person's experience, while remaining grounded in your own. This balance prevents you from losing yourself in their story, or becoming overwhelmed by their emotions. Instead, you offer compassionate attention that honors their truth and your boundaries simultaneously. This skill strengthens relationships and builds mutual respect. You'll also notice that when you care with this mindful, spacious energy, you attract different kinds of relationships into your life. People who resonate with your calm confidence, who respect your boundaries, and who value authentic connection will naturally be drawn to you. Toxic dynamics and draining connections tend to fade or transform because they cannot thrive in this environment. This is not about pushing people away or isolating yourself. It's about cultivating a community that nourishes your soul and supports your growth. Over time, your social circle reflects your internal state, peaceful, balanced, and grounded. Practicing this balanced care can even influence how you engage with the world at large. When you operate from a place of calm and centeredness, you contribute positive energy to your environment. You become a stabilizing force amidst chaos, a source of hope and inspiration. Whether it's at work, in your family, or within your community, your presence helps shift collective energy toward healing and cooperation, rather than stress and conflict. This ripple effect is powerful because it reminds you that your personal transformation matters beyond just your immediate circle. Your energy influences the broader ecosystem of people and experiences around you. At its core, caring without clenching is an act of liberation. It frees you from the exhausting cycle of overgiving, fear, and self-doubt. It allows you to reclaim your power and redefine what it means to love and care in a way that honors your true self. This path requires patience, courage, and self-honesty, but the reward is a life rich with authentic connection, emotional freedom, and deep inner peace. The journey isn't about perfection, it's about progress, awareness, and choosing daily to nurture your heart with wisdom and grace. So as you move forward, remember to keep checking in with yourself. Notice when you start to tighten or hold on too hard. Use your breath, your boundaries, and your trust as tools to soften and open. Celebrate the small victories, the moments you choose peace over panic, presence over distraction, and love over fear. These moments build up to a powerful shift in your life, transforming how you care, how you live, and how you love. You deserve to experience care that uplifts and sustains you, not care that drains and diminishes you. By embracing this truth, you step into your fullest, most vibrant self, the person who can love fiercely and freely without losing sight of their own light. As you continue this journey of learning to care without clenching, you begin to see just how much power lies in your ability to choose your focus. One of the most important truths is that where you place your attention, your energy flows. If you constantly fixate on worries, what-ifs, or trying to control outcomes, you're funneling precious energy into things that drain and diminish you. But when you consciously redirect your focus toward what nourishes you, self-care, gratitude, healthy relationships, and meaningful purpose, you start to build a foundation of inner strength and peace. This shift in attention might seem small, or even simple, but it has a profound impact over time. It rewires your brain, reshaping your habits and reactions so that calmness and clarity become your default states rather than rare moments. This intentional focus also allows you to redefine what caring means for you. Instead of measuring care by how much you sacrifice or how intensely you worry, you learn to see it as a steady, nurturing presence. It's about showing up consistently for yourself and others with kindness and respect, not desperation or codependency. You realize that caring doesn't have to be loud or dramatic to be meaningful. Often the most powerful care is quiet, gentle, and steady. It's in the daily rituals of self-respect, the small acts of kindness you offer without expectation, and the healthy boundaries you set to protect your energy. This kind of care is sustainable and deeply fulfilling because it's rooted in truth and balance. At the same time, you become more attuned to the subtle ways your emotions communicate what you need. Emotions aren't random or burdensome, they are signals guiding you toward what requires attention or healing. When you care without clenching, you create space to feel your emotions fully without becoming overwhelmed by them. Instead of pushing away discomfort or trying to fix every feeling immediately, you learn to sit with your emotions like a trusted friend. You ask yourself, what is this feeling trying to tell me? What do I need right now? This practice of emotional curiosity deepens your self-awareness and strengthens your emotional intelligence. It helps you respond to situations with wisdom rather than reacting out of fear or old patterns. This growing emotional intelligence also changes how you navigate conflict and challenges. Instead of escalating tensions or shutting down, you approach difficulties with curiosity and openness. You understand that conflict is a natural part of any relationship and often an opportunity for growth if handled with care. You listen deeply, express your needs clearly, and seek solutions that honor both yourself and others. This mature way of caring transforms conflicts from painful battles into bridges of understanding. It also frees you from the exhaustion of people-pleasing or trying to avoid conflict at all costs. You recognize that true care includes honesty and courage, not just kindness. As your relationship with care evolves, you begin to notice changes in your self-talk and inner narrative. The harsh, critical voices that once convinced you to push harder, worry more, or doubt your worth start to soften. You replace those voices with affirmations of compassion, patience, and acceptance. This internal shift is crucial because how you talk to yourself sets the tone for your entire experience. When you speak kindly and encourage yourself, you build resilience and confidence. You become your own greatest supporter, rather than your harshest critic. This doesn't mean ignoring areas for growth or avoiding responsibility. It means nurturing yourself through the process with gentleness and understanding. Another important piece of this puzzle is learning to celebrate progress over perfection. In a world obsessed with achievement and flawless performance, it's easy to get caught in cycles of frustration and self-judgment. But caring without clenching invites you to appreciate your efforts and growth, no matter how small or imperfect they seem. Every time you choose calm over chaos, presence over distraction, or love over fear, you are moving forward. Recognizing and honoring these steps strengthens your motivation and keeps you grounded in your journey. It reminds you that transformation is a process, not a destination, and that your worth is inherent, not contingent on outcomes. You also start to understand that caring is a dance between giving and receiving. For so long, you might have believed that caring was about giving endlessly without expecting anything back. While generosity is beautiful, one-sided giving leads to imbalance and exhaustion. When you care without clenching, you open yourself to receiving with grace and gratitude. You recognize that receiving support, kindness, and love is just as vital as offering it. This reciprocal flow nourishes your spirit and replenishes your energy. It teaches you that relationships thrive on mutual respect and exchange rather than sacrifice and depletion. This shift invites healthier connections and deeper intimacy. Alongside these internal changes, you may find that your external world shifts too. As you embody this balanced way of caring, your actions and decisions become more aligned with your true values and purpose. You stop chasing what doesn't serve you and start investing your time and energy in what brings you joy, meaning, and growth. This alignment creates a powerful ripple effect. Your life feels more authentic and fulfilling, and you inspire others to live from a place of truth and compassion as well. Your presence becomes a beacon of calm in a world that often feels overwhelming and chaotic. Importantly, caring without clenching doesn't mean avoiding pain or discomfort. Life will always bring challenges, loss, and heartbreak. But with this new way of caring, you approach those inevitable difficulties with resilience and grace. You trust that you have the inner resources to navigate hard times without losing yourself. You allow yourself to feel deeply, while also holding space for healing and growth. This balance of vulnerability and strength creates a profound sense of freedom and peace. You no longer fear the storms, because you know how to move through them with courage and presence. Ultimately, this journey leads you back home to yourself. You rediscover your inherent worth, your unique light, and your capacity for unconditional love. Caring without clenching is a radical act of self-love that transforms your life from the inside out. It frees you from the exhausting cycles of worry, guilt, and burnout, opening the door to joy, connection, and deep fulfillment. This way of being honors your whole self, heart, mind, and body, and creates a foundation for lasting happiness. When you care like this, you don't just survive, you thrive. You become a force of love and peace in the world, starting with the love and peace you cultivate within. As you deepen this practice of caring without clenching, you begin to notice how much freedom there is in surrendering control, not in giving up, but in releasing the need to force outcomes or micromanage every detail. It's a subtle but powerful shift, moving from resistance to acceptance. This doesn't mean becoming passive or indifferent. Rather, it means trusting the flow of life while still taking inspired action where it matters. You start to understand that your energy is best used not in gripping tightly to what you think should happen, but in responding thoughtfully to what is. This acceptance creates a spaciousness inside you, a space where anxiety and tension lose their grip, and clarity and peace can settle in. The more you practice this, the more natural it feels to let go of the frantic effort to control, and instead lean into a sense of calm trust. This trust is built gradually, often through moments of challenge, that invite you to test your faith in yourself and the process of life. When things don't go as planned, when relationships falter, opportunities shift, or unexpected hardships arise, you have a choice to tighten your grip in fear and desperation, or to breathe deeply and meet the situation with openness and curiosity. Choosing the latter is an act of courage and care, one that honors your well-being, rather than sacrificing it to worry or blame. It allows you to navigate uncertainty without losing your center. You realize that peace isn't the absence of difficulty, but the presence of a steady heart and mind amid whatever life brings. This perspective shifts your entire experience and empowers you to handle stress with resilience rather than breakdown. This journey also reveals the beauty of impermanence, that everything changes, including your feelings, circumstances, and relationships. Rather than clinging to how things were or how you wish they could be, you learn to embrace the flow of change as a natural part of existence. This acceptance frees you from the pain of resistance and opens you up to new possibilities and growth. You become more adaptable, more open to learning, and more willing to let go of what no longer serves you. In this way, caring without clenching becomes a practice of fluidity, holding on when it feels right and letting go when it's necessary, always guided by love and wisdom rather than fear. Alongside this, you develop a deeper compassion for yourself and others. You see that everyone is doing the best they can with the resources and awareness they have in each moment. This insight softens your judgments and opens your heart to empathy. You start to release expectations that others must behave a certain way or meet your needs perfectly. Instead, you cultivate acceptance for imperfections, both theirs and your own. This compassion creates a healing space where relationships can grow without pressure or resentment. It allows you to connect from a place of genuine understanding, rather than control or conditional love. The more you practice this, the more you experience the profound relief of being seen and accepted as you are, and in turn, offering that gift to others. This evolving way of caring also transforms your relationship to vulnerability. Where once vulnerability might have felt dangerous or shameful, now it becomes a source of strength and connection. You learn that showing your true self, the fears, the hopes, the uncertainties, is a courageous act that deepens intimacy and fosters trust. Vulnerability becomes a bridge rather than a barrier, a way to invite others in rather than push them away. This doesn't mean you expose yourself to harm carelessly. Rather, you become discerning about when and with whom it's safe to be open. This balance between openness and protection is an essential part of caring without clenching. It keeps you grounded and safe, while allowing authentic connection to flourish. At the same time, you begin to cultivate a deeper sense of presence. You realize that caring isn't just about what you do or say, it's about how you show up in each moment. When you are fully present, listening with your whole being, and responding from a place of awareness, your care becomes more powerful and healing. Presence requires practice, because our minds often wander into worries about the future or regrets about the past. But with patience and gentle persistence, you strengthen your ability to stay grounded here and now. This presence not only enriches your relationships, but also enhances your own experience of life, making ordinary moments feel vivid and meaningful. As you embody this presence, you notice subtle shifts in your energy and mood. The tension and heaviness that came from clenching begin to dissolve, replaced by a lighter, more expansive feeling. You carry yourself with greater ease and grace, and others respond to you with warmth and openness. This energetic shift is both a sign and a catalyst of your transformation. It reminds you that caring without clenching is not just a mental or emotional practice, it's a whole body experience. Your breath, posture, and facial expressions all reflect your inner state, influencing how you relate to yourself and others. By tuning into these physical cues, you can nurture your well-being more holistically. In this process, you also learn to honor your limits without guilt or shame. Caring without clenching means recognizing when you need rest, support, or boundaries. It means saying no when necessary, and prioritizing your health and happiness. This may feel uncomfortable at first, if you're used to putting others first, or pushing yourself to exhaustion. But as you practice, you see that setting limits is an act of love for yourself and for those you care about. It prevents burnout and allows you to give from a place of fullness rather than depletion. This healthy balance sustains your ability to care deeply and effectively over the long term. Ultimately, this way of caring becomes a practice of radical self-respect. It's a commitment to honoring your worth, your needs, and your unique path. You recognize that you are deserving of love and kindness simply because you exist, not because of what you do or how much you give. This realization shifts your entire orientation toward life. You move from scarcity to abundance, from fear to trust, and from control to surrender. It's a liberation that touches every part of your being, freeing you to live with authenticity and joy. With each day that passes, this practice grows stronger and more natural. You encounter challenges, yes, but you also witness your own resilience and capacity for love expand. You become a living example of what it means to care without clenching, to hold life gently yet firmly, to embrace yourself and others with compassion, and to move through the world with grace and courage. This journey is never perfect or linear, but it is profoundly healing and empowering. And it begins with the simple but powerful choice to care differently, to care without clenching. So now, as you stand at this crossroads of caring, remember this: the way you care is the way you live. If you cling too tightly, you risk losing yourself in worry, fear, and exhaustion. But when you learn to care without clenching, to hold gently, to love steadily, to trust deeply, you unlock a freedom and peace that transforms everything. This is not a fleeting or fragile state. It is a strength born of self-love, wisdom, and courage. It is a steady flame that can light even the darkest nights. Caring without clenching is an act of rebellion against a world that glorifies stress and sacrifice. It is a radical invitation to yourself to slow down, to breathe, and to show up fully, with an open heart and clear boundaries. You deserve this care, from yourself first and foremost. You deserve to be held in kindness, to be spoken to gently inside your mind, and to walk your path without shame or guilt. When you choose this way, you are not only healing yourself but also creating ripples of love and calm in the lives around you. Your presence becomes a sanctuary, a quiet strength, a beacon of hope. So let go of the need to control, to fix, to carry burdens that are not yours to bear. Trust that your love and care, when given freely and wisely, are enough. They are more than enough. They are the very essence of your power. Walk forward with confidence, knowing that you are whole, worthy, and deeply loved. Care without clenching, and watch as your world transforms in the most beautiful and unexpected ways. Because when you care like this, you don't just survive, you truly live. You don't just exist, you shine. And that is the most powerful gift you can offer to yourself and to the world.